Turtle races with Beaver. So a long time ago, Turtle, he had the perfect home. He had a nice small pond, had plenty of fish. He had a green grassy bank that he could crawl up on and sun himself. And he even had some nice shady trees that sat on each side of the bank. So in the summertime when it was really hot, and he'd go for a swim, get him something to eat, crawl up on the bank in the shade, and just rest. He thought, I have the most perfect place in the world to live. And so that's the way it went day after day through the spring and the summer, the early fall. But when those north winds started blowing, Turtle would say, well, it's time for me to go to sleep. And he would swim down to the bottom of his pond and dig into the mud, and there he would sleep until the spring. So when spring came, and he woke up as the water started getting warm, and he just felt like, it seems like I've been down here a little longer than usual. So he starts swimming to the top, and he keeps swimming, and he keeps swimming, and he's like, what's wrong? This is not right. This is not how far I need to go to get to the top. What's going on? So when he gets to the top and he looks around and he's like, what has happened to my perfect home? What in the world? His grassy bank was underwater. His beautiful trees were gone. And at the other end was this wooden construction, a dam that had made his pond much bigger than what it was before. He's like, who did this to my home? Who did this? And all of a sudden he hears, whomp, something hit the water, and he looks and he sees this creature swimming towards him, and he shows up and he turtles him. He said, who are you and what are you doing in my pond? It was a beaver. And he said, your pond? This is my pond. I cut those trees down. I built that dam. I've made this a bigger place. It is now perfect for me. This is my home, and you need to leave. Turtle said, oh, no, 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 no. This is my home, and you're going to have to leave. And so they started arguing. Well, they weren't getting anywhere doing that. And so finally, Turtle says, look, okay, we need to do something to decide who is going to call this place home. And Turtle says, we could fight. Beaver said, yeah, that's what I want to do. I'll call in all my relations, and when they get here, we'll just gnaw your neck off. So Turtle looks back, and he looks at them big yellow teeth, and he's like, thinks to himself, no, we don't want to do that. No, that'll be too easy for me to defeat you. Let's think of something else that we could do to determine who's going to call this place home. And so Turtle says, oh, let's see who can stay underwater the longest. Beaver said, hey, I'll win that. I can stay under the water all day. Turtle says, well, that's not going to work for me, he says to himself. So he says, no, that'll be too easy too. I'll win that. Why don't we have a race? Beaver said, race? He says, yeah. Let's see who reaches the other side of the pond first. The winner gets to stay, and the loser will have to go. Beaver said, that's it. I am an excellent swimmer. I'm a strong, fast swimmer. We can do a race to the other side of the pond. So they get ready to start. And Turtle says, I'm so much faster than you. I'm going to let you have a little head start. And so Beaver said, fine with me. So it's ready, set, go. Well, Beaver, he takes off just as hard and fast as he can. And Turtle's like right behind him. Wasn't too long that Turtle realized this dude is fast. what am I going to do? I'm going to lose my home. So as he's swimming, 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 and he takes and reaches out with his long neck and he bites down on the very end tip of Beaver's tail. Well, Beaver, he feels something grab on the end of his tail, but he's too concentrating on swimming as hard as he can to get to the other side of that pond. So he just picks his tail up out of the water and tries to flick off whatever's on there, and he just keeps swimming. Well, Turtle then bites down a little bit harder on that tail. Beaver doesn't give up. He just takes that tail and flicks it way up out of the water. And when he gets it up to the top, Turtle lets go. And he goes through the air and lands on the other side of the pond ahead of Beaver. So when Beaver gets there and looks up, there is Turtle sitting right there on the bank. So true to his word, Beaver left, and Turtle once again had his home back, which he had now a bigger pond, which meant more fish. He had his grassy bank started growing back, and even his trees. So once again, he had the most perfect place in the whole world to live.